Onionhead Andrew.
Thank you all for being here. This is Onionhead Andrew. This is how to overcome directed energy weapons, Saturday, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And for this one, all I'm going to do, I'm going to talk for a few minutes about a thought I've had, why we aren't progressing with this information as quickly as we should be. And then we're going to open it up to Q&A like normal, just, people can get a better grasp of what I'm saying. But overall, there's a lot of new people here in the live right now, and what we're doing here is we're going over a paradigm every week. And this paradigm it's a 3-part paradigm, and this is the 3 parts that you need to understand to overcome directed energy weapons. The counterintelligence operations, quote, gang stalking, the lawyer part of it, like what you do with the federal government, all that type of thing, how to get FOIAs. That's all for a different person, different podcast. I don't have any expertise in that. I've only got opinions. The expertise I have in particularly is how to overcome the directed energy weapons using this paradigm that we're developing in these lives. The paradigm is a 3-part. The first step is deactivating implants using a stun gun EMP device. The second part is building and using electrical components that you wear on you. The third part is detoxing nanomachinery. And how all that works is the implants are directing the growth of nanomachinery in your body, and that nanomachinery is connecting from node to node to make a subcutaneous infrastructure in your basically on the outer shell of your body, although this nanomachinery will penetrate inwards. And what that is it's a backstop for directed energy weapons. So those heavy metals that grow, that proliferate along the, heavy metals, nanomachinery are always paired together. So you hear me reference it like that. Those grow along the implants. Eventually the implants connect each other with these little, it's a polymer-based construction. That's how nanotech does it, and it goes from one implant to another. Geez, you guys, can we please have radio silence? And it's going to be open to Q&A in a second. The implant, this is just for the new people. I know a lot of you have already heard this a whole bunch of times, but for the new people, it's important. From implant to implant is the heavy metal nanotech chains. Charlie, you're making noise. Sorry. From implants to implant, it's the nanotech heavy metal chain, and that you'll hear me refer to it as a daisy chain becomes polarized with the directed energy weapons, and that's what I mean with these heavy metal nanomachinery becomes a backstop for directed energy weapon attacks. Without the heavy metal nanomachinery, you don't have an energy sink or an energy drain, however you want to look at that. Basically, a target on you that allows the funneling of these directed energy weapons, mostly in the magnetizing range of the electromagnetic spectrum, to interact with your body and get absorbed into your nervous system, where it creates these more specific outcomes. Organ failure, brain inflammation, which you call mind control, most people call mind control. The whole idea that you're being externally controlled. That's only possible in the way that we're seeing it now with these heavy metal nanomachinery interface. And the implants, they're so small in the average target. They're being shot, I'm talking like submicroscopic on the large nanoscale, somewhere in that. They're being shot into you, usually from a distance, sometimes during a break-in, sometimes during surgery. Those are ordering the growth of the heavy metal nanomachinery daisy chains or polymer-based construction from implant to implant, making this polarizable, so an area of your body that can be polarized, which is to say a charge of a high positive charge and a high negative charge can be generated, creating that electrified feeling that most targeted survivors are experiencing. Okay, so that's what we do every week for all the new people. We talk about those 3 things: deactivating implants with the DIY stun gun. There's also a high voltage EMP device that can do the same thing. I've published, a few of you are building or have built. The second thing is building and using electronic components as wearables. I'm wearing some right now. If I wasn't, I wouldn't be able to talk to you. And third, detoxing nanomachinery and heavy metals. And with that, actually, parasites go right into that. Hopefully, we have a guest a little bit later. He might show, he might not. He can talk more about the parasites. If you're here, Greg, chime in right now. Okay, he's not here. That's fine. He might not be. But either way, those are the three things we talk about. And before we get into the Q&A, where I can help anybody working into that, and we can bring up other people that are doing it too. Other people can chime in if you've got relevant information and you've been with the calls for a little bit. I'll moderate that, as I always do. Please chime in, as always. But before we get into that part of it, which is probably the meat and potatoes part of it, I just wanted to bring up a thought that I've had this last 2 weeks. It's been stuck in my head, really. And it's, why aren't we farther along with this information? We have the only solution to overcoming directed energy weapon attacks right here, because we are the only ones that are accurately talking about how it accurately works, right? And not only that, but I'm not the only one that's done this. There are other people here right now that have done this, that know, that can verify what I'm saying is true. All right, so we should have right now, instead of 40 people, we should have 140 people. And just for the information's sake alone, nothing to do with me. This was all given to me. If I'm not as smart enough to figure this out on my own, there were other people before me that figured out pieces of it. All that happened to me was that I put it together. Okay, so this is not an ego thing. This is, why don't we have more people working at this goal of overcoming these directed energy weapons and regaining our freedom? And not only that, but our lives. When you're being attacked with directed energy weapons, you are being, people will say slow kill, but I've seen people murdered very quickly, you know, in my personal life with these weapon systems. I've seen all sorts of terrible outcomes that comes from human trafficking. When you're being human trafficked by any group of people, your life is no longer, it's no longer solely in your, not that it ever is, in your hands to control. And what I mean by that is, who is human trafficking and why, right? And what do they want out of it, right? So the 5 W's and the how. What I'm trying to get to is that the people that are doing this, that are controlling the directed energy weapons and the nanomachinery and this federal network of human traffickers, whether you're in United States or Great Britain or any Western world country, and even China and Russia, it's not that different. Their apparatus is doing this too. The people that are in the inner circle that are doing this are murderers and rapists. Not all of them, all right, but a vast majority of them were trained specifically in Afghanistan. I'm talking specifically about United States, Afghanistan, Iraq, Africa, all those wars that you never hear anything about, to be these people, to murder for the government. When they got back from their time of service, and this isn't to talk bad about people that served, this is just a factor of our society here in the NATO-controlled world. And again, it's not that different in China or Russia either. Russia's pretty much the same thing, and China's only different for a few little reasons. But they were trained to be murderers, and they were encouraged to be rapists and and pedophiles, for lack of a better term, because that's exactly what it is. The core of every human trafficking network in the United States of America, I know this almost positively, almost every human trafficking ring involved in these directed energy weapon attacks is directly involved in pedophilia, okay? They're the same group of people that do the same things that Epstein did, but they're doing it on a smaller scale. And smaller, what does that mean? It means more local. I don't mean smaller of importance, because the human trafficking network here in the Vancouver, Portland area has probably killed more people than the Epstein network did, okay? So those are the people that operate these directed energy weapon attacks. and just this human trafficking, these neuroweapon human trafficking rings. That's the kind of ends they'll be after in your life. The lengths that they'll go to keep what I'm telling you a secret is endless, right? I've seen that manifest here since I've been speaking about these things. Why don't we have more people? Why aren't there more people here that desire their freedom or even secure their lives to a greater extent? And I think we can answer that question with a few possible answers. But I think the biggest thing is actually awareness. There is a drought of awareness in the survivor community. People are not aware of who's doing this to them in their local environment. They're not aware of the various technologies, especially the nanotechnology part of this that's at play. They aren't aware of various misinformation artists in the community and how the big names that are promoted are almost ubiquitously liars and cheats and thieves. And I'm not going to name names here for obvious reasons, but if they're going from state to state and doing rallies or anything like that, and they don't have attempts on their life in a physical way, pretty much guaranteed that they're spooks, okay? So there is a huge lack of awareness across the board, how the weapons truly work, who's operating the weapons, why they're operating the weapons, how they're operating the weapons, where they're operating the weapons from. It's pretty much all of it. And it's all been, everyone here that's a real survivor has been set up from one misinformation artist to another. And what I guess my point is, in bringing up the awareness, is that if we were all more aware of our environment, we wouldn't be in this predicament right now of how bad this has gotten. This is not to blame anyone here, but this is just to call it what it is, all right? There are people in your near environment that are operating these weapon systems. Most of them have military backgrounds. And again, if that's too hard for you to hear, then that's an awareness thing that you need to work on, all right? And it's not to call anyone out in particular. It's just that this is how these things are working, all right? If it was someone else doing it in a different way, I would be saying it with the same vigor that I'm saying what I just said about the U.S. military being pretty much the focal point of the directed energy weapons in the NATO apparatus. And I know Britain, the British military, heavy into it, French military, so forth, so forth. But all of the technology and capacity is developed here and then passed out from here, all right, and here, United States of America. So you've got people in your near vicinity. This is not all being done with satellites and AI, all right? They are releasing heavy metals and nanotechnology around you on purpose, and they are using weather weapons to guide that into your atmosphere, into your near breathing space. That's another huge awareness milestone for people. There's a reason that when you breathe bad air, you get symptoms, right? That your throat hurts, that your nose hurts, right? Being aware of your physical body and your surroundings will give you more than anything that I could ever tell you, including these statements, all right? Including the paradigm of how to overcome it. If you're not aware first of how it's operating in your environment, here's another huge one. Then you'll never get to what I'm saying. You'll never understand what I'm saying is true. Here's another huge one. Break-ins. People will get their house broken into on the regular and just lie to themselves about it because it's too hard of a truth to realize that there are people breaking into your house, sometimes when you're home, sometimes when you're not. That you are getting potentially, your room is getting invaded at night and things are being done to you. I know that's a terrible thing, but it's happening, all right? So we have a drought of awareness across the board. And if we can, when we clear up that drought, everything will follow. The information that I'm sharing today about the paradigm is so valuable and so evergreen, would be a good term for it, that it doesn't need me to share it after a certain point. But that point hasn't come about yet because we're not even aware as a community of survivors enough to know that these things are happening and that we should be doing something about them. For example, I know I keep listing examples, the aerosols, heavy metals, and nanotech released in our near environment, the nanotech growing in our body, how the frequency weapons, they're not just one range. It's not just microwave. It's not just RF. It's not just infrasound or ultrasound or whatever, or ELF or ULF. It's the whole spectrum, and it's done per person. It's done what's most effective in that environment at that time. That every person's targeting follows the same rough outline, and that different outcomes are derived for specific results. So what I mean by that is one other one that people aren't aware of is that people will say, especially misinformation artists, will say that everyone's targeting is different. No. Everyone's targeting is the same. The outcomes are different. All right, which is to say that we are all going through the same process. The human traffickers aiming these weapon systems at us, which were all pretty much mostly former U.S. military and are mostly subcontractors of the FBI, DHS, and fusion centers here in the United States of America. And again, in Canada and Britain and France and Germany, it's not that different. It's really, really similar to that system. I kind of lost my train of thought. We will become, when we become aware of all these things, then we will understand how to move forward. And that was just the thought I've had for the last week or two, is that this awareness is the big thing that's missing. And I think a lot of the lack of awareness stems from a fundamental fear, which makes sense. We all experience fear. Fear is something that will creep into all of our lives, including mine, right? I get afraid of things at certain points. It creeps into my life before I recognize it and cast it back out. A fear of these realities being true. Because it's like, if this is true, then what's this mean about society, right? Well, it means a few terrible things. And one of those terrible things is that the whole population is infected with nanotechnology. And if you're new to the call and you haven't heard me say this before and explain it, just table it and go on Onionhead Andrew on Rumble or YouTube, and you can see some of the source material for that. But it's that COVID stuff directly related to what I'm talking about. And I could expound on that, but I'm not going to. The nanotech genocide's going on. The federal government is in a current civil war against its population. Directed energy weapons and are ambiently targeting the population all the time. And we're just talking about specifically to scale and human traffickers involved to create these outcomes that we call targeted survivors. Okay, so that's a few things that are huge that once you come to grips with, a lot of this makes more sense and you can start moving into solutions because you'll know how big the problem really is. Okay, so I've ranted enough. That was just a thought I've had. And what we're going to do now is we're going to open it up to Q&A. And at first, let's try to keep it on the paradigm, okay, which is one, building and utilizing stun gun EMP device to deactivate implants. Number two, using wearables, electronic components, capacitors, inductors as a shielding of sorts. And three, detoxing nanomachinery and anything that entails, right? Because I can only advise you on my experiences with counterintelligence operations, aka gang stalking. I can only, there's only so much that any one of us know about that those particular elements. It's very particular to where we are and what's going on around us. For example, and I'm going to stop talking here in a second. For example, you might have a large team of human traffickers in your area on you. There might be 10, 15, 20, 30 of them, all right? And it might be as small as 1 to 2 people. If it's 30 of them, because some areas are like this, San Diego, Portland, Houston, New York City, right? Any big metropolitan area is more likely to be like this. Then they're probably going to be breaking into your house as much as possible. And one of the things they're going to be doing is infecting your food with nanotech and heavy metals as much as possible, okay? So that's like more particular to you, it's a huge deal, a huge problem most people have that don't realize it. But there's other people in this call right now that are in a smaller area or maybe even a developed city that's got less military contractors, less subcontractors, the DHS, and FBI, and so forth, that only have one or two really nasty people, like old FBI people on them, all right? Especially if you live in a foreign country, that's in the Americas, that's usually the case. Like if you're in like Colombia or something, a lot of time that's a former FBI guy that will be doing this to you if you're targeted, all right? And it'll be like one guy, and he'll be operating, utilizing a local criminal gang to do all the footwork. So it really depends where you are, and particularly what's going on with your situation when it comes to the COINTEL gang stalking part of this. But the paradigm, the directed energy weapons, and what's being manipulated in our bodies, that is something that I can talk about in a more accurate fashion, and it will actually give you more ability to adapt and overcome in your environment, to know that, and to focus less on the COINTEL part, the counterintelligence part of it, although that is important. Okay, with that being said, we're going to open it up to Q&A, so let's do this in an orderly fashion. Who wants to go first?
Hey, I have something to add to what you just said, if I can talk.
Yeah, go ahead, Sandy.
So we talked about last week really eating alkaline, and I'm being attacked really hard. So all this week I focused on my food intake, what I was eating, and doing my shaker plate because I had laid off on that, and really doing my EMF, the shock, the zapper, and what I've noticed at work in particular is people trying to bring me food, which I find very interesting. So I accept the food and I flush it immediately down the toilet. But when I'm going home, since my little protection bubble is protecting me, I can feel it, but it's not egregious. It's not hurting me. So I have gone around in my neighborhood. I drive everywhere. And I also have like a scanner that will catch their comments on occasion. And
hold on, Sandy, real quick. You said something people might want to know more about. You said your protection bubble in your car. What do you mean?
Well, I wrap myself with the things, the modalities that are taught here. Number one, I wrap myself in my my cables, and I have saran wrap and everything that we talk about all over my body.
Okay, thank you.
And that seems to help. And I put 2 big magnets in my hat, and first I did it where they connected, and then I did it backwards because one wasn't working and the other worked better. So you just really have to, you got to, like he's talking about, they're going to work with you, then they're going to see what's not hurting you, so you have to change it up all the time. But I was coming home, and I heard them on the scanner say, if anybody is at home, we need you right now. So, and I'm in my neighborhood. So what does that tell you? And, instantly you can feel more of a whatever they're zapping me with. I mean, you can feel a harder wave of it, so to speak. So they know they know when I'm leaving to go to work. They know when I'm coming home. So they're prepared for that. Today,
hey, Sandy, real quick. You said another thing people are going to be interested in. What apps are you using to detect their communications?
So there's it's really goofy, but it's a ghost app. And
okay.
I just put it on that, and when they know that I'm on that, you can hear them say change the channel. But that's how I figured out. They said in the cars one day, zapper low, hit her low, and that's going to do with your legs and your feet because it all goes down to your feet. And so I immediately started wrapping up my feet and my legs, and that's very smart to do. That helps tremendously. And then the day, well, just Friday when I was coming home from work is when I heard if there's anybody home right now. Well, I'm in my neighborhood. So what does that tell you? It's my neighbors. It's a lot of my neighbors, and it's more.
Okay, hey, I'm going to jump in real quick. The Ghost app, I believe it's GHOST, and it's on Google Store, right?
Yes, on Apple.
Apple, okay.
Yeah, you can.
That'll be enough for people. And then there was one other thing you said that I think would be really good for people to understand better. You said that you caught them saying hit her low, and what they were talking about was hit her low with directed energy weapons so that the heavy metals that she's been breathing all day that we've been releasing around her that will be there in that area that we can clump together to make that backstop for even more energies, to start growing those heavy metal links again. And the reason they need. Go ahead. Okay.
Sorry, go.
The reason they need to do that with Sandy, they need to think it out like that all the time, is because she has deactivated her implants. She did that a long time ago. And this is another reason why they've got everybody in the neighborhood tuned into her arrival and stuff. By the way, Sandy, those people, the easiest way to find out where they live, it's so easy. It is so incredibly easy. What you can do is you go on your county assessor website and you look up when they moved in. And if you look for the cars and all that type of thing, right? The license plates, the government tags, you'll see those too. But when you think it's one of these houses, you look when they moved in, and what you'll find is they moved in after you. All right? And it's every single time. And where they like to be is they like to be about 2 houses away from you. They don't want to be directly next door. They want to put one of their, excuse my language, but dumbass citizen informants in those spots so that in case you ever lose your cool or just get too much data on them, it will be on an informant. They like to be 1 or 2 steps removed from that so that they can watch all of that happen and facilitate it better.
That makes a lot of sense. I've got a neighbor 2 houses down that is a rent house, a neighbor across the street that moved in, and I use that Blue Hound app too. When we talked about it last week, so I'm trying to figure out where a lot of the talk is coming from. You know, and then I get it at night, so it's a house behind me, a house in front of me, and a house beside me. I think, you know, I've lived in this neighborhood since 1964. I had to move back home, so this is my home that I grew up in. So it's easy for me to know who's been here for a long time. I know all my neighbors, and I know who's brand new. So I think I have that going, and my thing is I need to control my attitude and just be calm and cool about it, because there's a hate that goes with this too that has to be controlled and monitored, or we could be in trouble as well. But that app is called GhostTube, VOX.
Can you post that in the chat for everybody?
I don't know if I know how to do that.
There's a button at the bottom of the heads-up display. It says chat. I don't know if you're on a smartphone. I'm on a computer.
I'm on. So I'm just going to take a picture of my phone, and then I'll post that. It's the second app on my phone, if that makes sense.
Okay. All right. Hey, I appreciate all that. That's the exact type of awareness that I was talking about. You know, when we can actually see the who about it, there's something about our brains that allows us to recognize the situation being what it is, which is like a very dangerous, very, very dangerous human trafficking operation. And these guys, Sandy, would you say that these guys are all, or most of them are former military that you're dealing with?
Oh, absolutely. And I'm in Fort Worth, Texas, which used to be Carswell Air Force Base, which now is a Naval Air Force Base. and or a naval base or joint something. And yeah, everything there's no possible way that the intel of this stuff is being done to me. It's just, can be done by jokers and players. This is mean, horrendous, hideous stuff that's happening to all of us, and it's in force. It's in big force. It's not one person doing this to me. They know my patterns. They know where I go. Like I was saying, I got out today without my phone, with unexpected. I just threw on the T-shirt and I got in my car to drive around, and none of them. I was so off pattern. Nobody was around, so I drove around until I felt a wave of hit, if you know what I mean. And I just pointed to my wrist to say, "You're off watch, aren't you?" It's interesting. You have to figure out their patterns, and when you have a chance, also to be free, so to speak. So, they're following your patterns more than they're, so.
Yeah, because they're so, and this goes to what. So there's it's like layers, right? There is an inner layer of human traffickers whose job is this 24/7. They're in 3 shifts, right? So literally first shift, second shift, third shift, or days swing graveyard. And there will always be a dedicated force, but like for example, graveyard, if you have a regular sleeping schedule, there might only be one person on shift. So if you wake up in the middle of the night, say at 1 o'clock on your own accord, you set an alarm and you make it this random thing, you're not going to repeat. This is your first time doing it, and you drive somewhere, you'll have a good 15, 25, 45 minutes where you get to live like a regular person at 1 a.m. at night,
That's so true. I've done that actually. So
yeah, it's not a bad idea. If you're desperate, this goes for anybody on the call. If you're desperate and you want to see these things for yourself, build your awareness, like I was talking about early on, do that. And what you'll see is about 45 minutes in, give or take half an hour, something like that, it'll be the middle of the night too, so you'll be able to see them because there won't be many cars out. You'll be able to see the literal professional human traffickers follow you around. And in their cars, in their gas tanks, almost always, they put the heavy metal nanotech, usually it's heavy metal only, but sometimes nanotech mix, particulate in the gas tanks. So when their exhaust is near you, you'll start getting your symptoms back. And then your awareness of aerosols will grow. And you go, holy crap, Onionhead was right. It's got to do something I'm breathing also. It's not just being hit with directed energy weapons. I'm breathing something, and then I'm being hit with directed energy weapons. Because you'll feel the difference at 1 a.m. in the middle of the night.
You said that. So I escaped from work, and I got on the little trail. We have a creek. So I started walking down the trail, and I was like, oh, hell yeah, I'm all by myself. And it wasn't 5 minutes, there was a truck that started, and wind was going on. A truck started, and all these fumes came out of the truck. And it was far enough ahead of me where I was able to hightail out of there. But I was amazed. I was going, holy shit, that's a fucking asshole. But I was going, Andrew, you are so right. It's if you pay attention, you will learn so much.
Yeah, that's how it happened for me too. It's just trying to get out, and I would literally go I'll keep this short. I would literally go for walks in the middle of the night, just because I just wanted to breathe fresh air. I wanted to see how these things were working, and then I saw them all, and it was like I had some suspicions, and then I had evidence, and then I had proof, and it went from me thinking 1 or 2 neighbors was involved to recognizing that these people had been following me around the city. The same people, the same small group of human traffickers had been following me from house to house and friends to friends that I had lived at or spent a lot of time at. And what I found in my area, this isn't always the case, but it is a lot of the times, especially on the West Coast and other places too, probably for Sandy too. Sandy's in Texas, I should have asked you for saying that. No, you said it earlier. But usually those former military guys, they're also bikers, outlaw bikers. Okay? That's the organizational structure. It's a gang that they relate to each other in, and then they're individually subcontracted out through another security firm, usually private security firm in your area, that'll be subcontracted through the DHS Fusion Center, FBI. Name your three-letter agency. But so they're really like 3 layers of organization removed from getting caught at any given time. And on the ground, the human traffickers are if you could corner them and force them to talk about their involvements, they would say more so than other that they're in that motorcycle gang of former military, which here locally, it's the Banditos, it's the Gypsy Jokers, and it's the Hells Angels. And the Hells Angels are the big ones. They're like the elite of these human trafficking squads. They go from state to state. So if you moved if Sandy moved to West Texas out in the middle of nowhere where there wasn't a human trafficking team already operating, there's a good chance of that, right? Because there's only so many of these people. The first people that would follow her out would be federal agents. The second group that would follow her out would be the outlaw biker human trafficking squad.
Another thing is, what I noticed when I come home, when I'm circling the streets, there's always Amazon drivers with their trunks open, and delivery, and you can feel it, right? So I drive around, and when the big wave hits me, I still driving around, and I always find 5, 6, 7 cars that are together, and I just drive up beside them, and it subsides. So like right now, somebody's turned something on because they know I'm talking, but
okay, so we'll let you recoup. That's a great. We'll finish with this. What Sandy was just saying. When she's feeling the wave, she's breathing the aerosols. All right, the wave is the aerosols. You breathe the aerosols, and then the directed energy weapons that are aimed at you 24/7, more or less, become amplified. This is why inherently their operations diminish at night, because they're not going to have the greater citizen informant network. By the way, that's what those Amazon drivers most of the time are. They're part of the citizen informant network. Sometimes they get that position through Amazon, like someone in Amazon hooks them up with the human trafficking squad to make a little extra money. They don't call it that, of course, but that's what it is. Other times it's because they were already part of the citizen informant network and they were told to get a job at Amazon. And then I believe the Amazon buses themselves are holding the weaponry that ambiently targets the population, but can be specifically aimed at someone at a specific time. And I think the majority of Amazon workers have no idea. We're just talking about small groups of people. It's all being done by small groups of people. Okay, thank you. I really appreciate your speaking about your awareness. It's that awareness that will get you understanding the rest of what I'm saying, the rest of what's being said here, and it will progress you in your adaptation to this environment that we find ourselves in 2026, United States of America. And that's what I lost my train of thought earlier on, is that the federal government decided quite some time ago, elements of the federal government, that they were going to commit a civil war against their population, right? And that's what we're currently embroiled in. Where there's literally military being deployed against the population en masse for no reason besides to cause destability and murder and rape, right? There's like the human element side of this, where the people doing it are like getting joy out of it. Not all the people all the time. A lot of the people themselves are former military and they're trapped in this, right? But the people that are calling the shots are really pedophiles, and they really are killing like the former FBI, usually high-ranking former FBI, the people that are running any given human trafficking ring anywhere. They're usually pedophiles, not all the time, usually, and they really are getting enjoyment a lot of times out of breaking into a vulnerable 20-something or 60-something-year-old's house and raping them, man or woman, right? Or like knowing that that happened. And they're doing this at the behest of money, for money, at the behest of the hidden money that runs our country. And those people are doing that to literally destabilize our country from the inside out, right? So this literally is a civil war. That's not an exaggeration. That's literally what's happening. And you, as a targeted survivor, you've been shanghaied into this war. One day you woke up and then you decided that you were going to be the one that got tortured and killed. And here you are at this place hearing this truth from me, right? But that's what's going on. So anyways, next person.
Hi, Onionhead.
Hello.
I was listening to all of that information, and it was very, very valuable. And I know most of it you are aware of, and she was reiterating some information. But for many of us, we were not able to capture everything she was saying. It was very, very, very important, as down to the app that she uses. I'd like to know how she wraps her feet. I have some specific questions, but it was going really, really fast.
Okay. So you stick around on the call, and you're going to keep learning what she was talking about. But you're right. A lot of that was more intermediate and more advanced knowledge. But she was wrapping herself. I will explain some of it right now. She was wrapping herself with the electronic components that we use for our wearables. Now, what are those? They are copper, saran wrap, and metal tape, or aluminum foil, whatever you have. When you mix those three together, it creates an electrical effect that dissipates frequency. Okay? It all does it in a different way. The saran wrap and the metal tape make a capacitor-like effect, which is a basic electronic component. The wire, when you wrap it around yourself, the Romex cabling, which she was talking about, that's basic housing wire you can buy at Home Depot or Lowe's or anything like that. Any hardware store, really. It's in the 12 gauge or the 14 gauge, and it comes in a nice thick wire. It's what's behind your outlets, how your house is wired is with this wire. You can wrap that around you, and it makes an inductor, which is another basic electronic component. So when you mix plastic wrap, aluminum, usually in metal tape because it's like aluminum foil with a sticky side. So saran wrap, metal tape, and copper, the Romex wire, particularly that copper, because it's so easy to get, and anyone can get it. It's cheap, and you can put a lot of copper on you this way. When you mix those three things, you're basically building a very rudimentary circuit on your body that's dissipating the directed energy weapons and declumping the heavy metals. Because remember, that's what the directed energy weapons are trying to do. They're trying to clump these heavy metals. Yep, go ahead.
Do you have, can you show us how to make it? Do you have one on you that you could show us what it looks like?
Yeah, you'd have to give me a second. I have to go outside. I'll show you a vest that I made. But the
wearable, the one that you put on your body underneath your clothes. Yes.
That's what I was talking about. But the key aspect of it is to remember that whatever you're doing, they're going to counter. That's what Sandy was talking about. She was saying that they were saying go for her feet because at that moment her feet were vulnerable. Because she can't walk around 24/7 with all this stuff on her. No one can, right? So they're always looking for a way into your body to clump these heavy metals. The important part is not to see what I've built, although I'll show it to you. It's to understand to use these three things for yourself. We are learning how to ski right now. We are in the classroom. You need to go out with your skis and try these things yourself. And again, I'll go and grab it right now, and I'll show it to you all. But that's not. Go ahead, Sandy.
Don't forget magnets.
Oh, and magnets, yes, magnets. But honestly, magnets come a little bit later once you start messing with these things, because at first that's too much. But hey, Sandy, could you talk a little bit about your wearable as I grab the vest to show them?
Sure.
Thank you.
first I hope everybody can hear me, but first I bought the well, I've gone in steps because you know, I was in pain. So first I bought the copper and I did the fan. That's on Andrew's thing too, on his website. He teaches you how to build a fan with twisted copper. But I did that very first. Then I purchased a stun gun and built a EMP killer. That works great if you're just being barely targeted, but it gets worse. So as it got worse, I went and got Romex cable, and it's very thick copper, so you can just take that wire and you can just wrap it around your leg at first. You can wrap it around your arms, you can wrap it around your middle, and then I got saran wrap, and then I got the aluminum and stuff, so I wrap all that around me in the day together. Well, then you start, once you realize you can't wear it like that all the time, then you get inventive like Andrew's fixing to show you.
Okay, so this is one thing that I built. Now, I got a good 3 weeks out of this before they adapted, and now it's not very good for me anymore. Basically, they're using different weapon sets, different frequencies. But you can do this. You can experience this for yourself by building one. I wouldn't. Like I said, I would just, understand the components and do it like Sandy's doing, and then maybe build one of these for night or something like that. But eventually they will overcome. Anything you do can eventually be overcome. But what cannot be overcome is your knowledge of what's happening. All right? That's why it's so important to take this information and practice yourself with it, because you'll build a capacity that eventually will not be able to be overtaken. Right? As of now, they don't have any weapon system that cannot be dealt with as of now. So when that changes, I'll let you know. Right here, it's a two-piece vest, right? You can see you put it over your head to put it on. I'm not going to put it on right now. The first layer is copper wire, okay? The first layer is copper wire. The second layer is plastic wrap. The third layer is metal tape, and then it alternates metal tape and plastic wrap for a total of 4 layers. On the front, I went ahead and I wrapped a little bit more wire around just to cover my midsection a little bit more. I wrapped that wire like this. The original wire is up and down in the vest. This was a good vest for me for a second. If you're not protected at all, that would be a great place to start, and you will get a lot of benefit out of it. It's copper wire, the Romex cable. You can use 12 gauge or 14 gauge. You put it in up-down sequence. You make it pretty tight to each other. You use duct tape to make a mat out of that. Then that mat you layer with plastic wrap and metal tape 3 times, and you've got that vest. You do 2 of those, and then you connect it at the shoulder, and you have that vest. And then over time, what's great about putting the wire up-down is that it actually bends to your body. So what that is, that's a rudimentary resonant circuit. All right, that's why it works. Resonant circuits are capacitors and inductors. They were the first, just those 2 things. An inductor on one side, a capacitor on the other side. That was literally the first circuit that was invented. All right, so isn't that great how God works?
That is awesome.
Yeah, the first circuit that was invented is the idea that you need to hold in your head to build effective shielding. To really what the shielding, I hate using that term because it's not what's happening. It's dissipating frequency. All right, the metal and the saran wrap, it makes a capacitor. When you layer it like that, three layers, metal, aluminum, saran wrap, aluminum, saran wrap, aluminum, saran wrap, that's a capacitor. And the copper is acting as an inductor, kind of. There's a little bit more to it than that. But the capacitor and the inductor are right next to each other, make that rudimentary resonant circuit. Because remember, electricity that we're being attacked with is not moving through wires, right? It's not moving from point A to point B. It's moving in cones usually, or lasers, right? So it's moving through things. So if we want to have, this effect of shielding or dissipating the frequency, then we need to think about how these energy sources are going to interact with the material that we put in front of it, right? So if we put or even around it, it doesn't have to necessarily be in front of it. If we put that material in the way of that frequency or around it, it's going to have an electrical effect that's going to disturb the process, right? Whether it's the heavy metal clumping or the energy itself reaching your body. But the energy itself, when it reaches your body and the heavy metals aren't clumped, it's negligible. You can feel the difference. It's unbelievable, the difference. It feels as though the energy is moving off and around you. You can still feel it, but it's not going into you and heating you up and causing those effects. Did you have another question, Sandrina?
Being that it's ineffective for you at this point, would you be interested in paying it forward and I buy it from you?
I would be more interested. See, this is what I was talking about learning to ski. All right, because not only can it be tampered with in the mail, I don't want you to waste your money. I want you to go out and learn how to make one of these things.
Do it. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's going to be overcome. I'm going to sell you this, for, I think material-wise, it cost me, there's a good amount of material in this one. Probably $110, something like that. Most of it was copper wire. Vast majority of it was copper wire. And then they will know exactly what you have, and they will know exactly how to counter it and exactly how to overcome it within 2 weeks, right? And if they don't know the local human trafficking team, then they'll bring in somebody that will know, some expert, from DARPA or something like that, or from Lockheed Martin, more accurately, and they will learn how to overcome it, or they will get the information or the weapon systems on the ground to overcome it. So you need to be able to feel these things, these frequency interaction, right, in your environment, what's happening to your body. You need to have that awareness. You need to build that awareness of what these different EMF fields feel like, well, electromagnetic spectrum, and how that interacts with you, right? And then where it's targeting your body and what you can do about it. That's a process that we all have to learn. If you're going to have any success in this after deactivating implants, you have to be learning that. And that's why I have Sandy talk so much, is because Sandy has put in more work than anybody here on the call. And she understands, she can feel the frequency. Well, I shouldn't say that. There's a few other people too, you know who you are, who have put in an equal amount of work, who they can feel the frequencies and they know exactly what I'm talking about. The difference between it coming into you or going around you.
I have a question.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. And throughout this process, see, there's one advantage. Well, there's a few advantages of being targeted. And so basically, you have a greater capacity to be aware of more things. And one of the most amazing things about being targeted is, and I know that sounds terrible to even say that statement, but is that you can start feeling these EMF fields and know the difference one from another, right? Never before in human history have people been able to so accurately feel different EMF, right? So you're walking around with an ability that no computer alive has, right? Which makes you more effective and more more ability to actualize in your environment once you learn the education behind it.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Okay, so you said the vest wearable that you have right now is ineffective. So I have all my materials about to do mine, so I'm trying to figure out what to do.
Well, so you're in a great spot, Expert. Expert's one of these people that's been working really hard. You're in a great spot. Just start fiddling with it and try to go see. For everyone that doesn't know, Expert uses a high voltage EMP device to break up the heavy metal clumps. It requires more work, more active involvement from her to do that, but it's effective. And she's using a vibration plate in tandem. So once she uses the high voltage EMP device, which isn't the stun gun, it's like the next degree of effectiveness. Once she uses that, then she puts her affected body part on the vibration plate and basically shakes that heavy metal clump into her lymphatics or some drainage system in her body where it no longer affects her. Did you want to talk about that real quick just for the people so they can hear it in your words?
Okay, yeah, so it's very effective, but what I noticed, and so I guess I just want to reiterate the importance of the wearable, because once what I noticed this week, and it was a real challenging week for me, while I'm using it, they're attacking me, and so they attack me in my shoulder joints, and it's a lot of pain after, but I pretty much know how to get rid of the pain. And so what they'll also do, they'll just come down low with the aircraft, and once I hear the aircraft low, I know I'm going to get a hard hit. But it still is very effective, because what I noticed, the more often that I use the vibrating plate, the better I feel. So even though they're hitting me, I'm feeling I'm far much better off than I was before, because I really couldn't even properly take care of myself. I was in a really bad state. So
okay, so now thank you, expert. Now you can feel. Now you're an expert. You can feel the body part and basically the different frequency interacting with it. Correct?
Absolutely. I've always been able to feel that. I'm always aware of my environment. Like most people, I notice they don't. I'm aware of the different odors, the smells, the sounds. I'm very sensitive to sound. So once I hear a sound, I know that they're doing something to my body. So I'm just very aware of what's going on. In terms of the breaking, that has slowed me up a lot. Like I mentioned to you before, they have been to me for so many years, and I just became aware of it in this program, what breaking is. So what I thought was mold was actually breaking. And so I had a recent one. They kind of let me loose for about 5 years, and they came up with a recent one because I was moving so fast with the program, and they know that's the only thing they could do to slow me up. Because I have everything. I was changing my diet again, buying my grain, just about everything. I actually had ordered all my materials for the wearable, and they saw that, and they came on breaking and just poisoned literally everything. And so
okay, so sorry for jumping in here, but I got to explain what you're talking about for the new people. Expert had a break-in, I think it was, 3 weeks ago?
No, actually about 2 months ago.
Oh, wow, time really flies. About 2 months ago, where they sprayed what I imagine was herbicide and pesticide all over everything that basically has created a chemical vapor in her house, and breathing that chemical vapor has made her more reactive to the clumping of heavy metals, because that's exactly what those odors do. Is it makes your body more acidic, and it makes the heavy metals and nanomachinery form quicker in the body. So to get back to where, go ahead.
For the shaker plate, because when she was talking last week about shaking her brain and leaning to the left and leaning to the right, that really helped me tremendously. It works.
Yeah, it works. It's true. It works. Yeah.
So that's great. That's great. If you guys, that's another great device to help with the third part of the paradigm, is getting those vibration plates. I've got one myself too, and utilizing them effectively. I used to lean back on it and have my back and just shake the crap out of it. But either way, that's good for detoxing heavy metals and nanomachinery. Most of you guys listening, not everybody, is nowhere close to, I would say, spending money on that. That's why I have it listed as third, because it's detoxing is important, heavy metals, nanomachinery. But if you've got the implants still functioning, and if you're not have some sort of defense, whether it's through the high voltage EMP device like Expert One's got, or the wearables, which is what I normally say, because that's what most people's normal level of technical ability is. but that high voltage EMP device is really nice for anybody who can build it. To get back to expert's question, is the wearables, you know where you're feeling your symptoms. You're in a great place. Your awareness is high enough to basically, when you feel the symptoms, start experimenting with these layers, right? Copper, what it does is it helps break up the clump directly in the spot that it's at when you wrap it around your body, all right? Capacitor takes the energy out of it, out of the attack. So the combination of, which is the capacitor, is the metal layers and the plastic layers. So the combination of the copper and the plastic and metal layers, the idea is basically that you're breaking up the clump and you're taking energy out of the polarization or the electrification of that area of your body. Now, when you put, this is what Sandy was telling me to remind you guys of, or to comment on, was magnets. Magnets, when you put that on a conductive layer, so aluminum or metal tape, you can transfer whatever energy is happening in the magnets to that conductive layer. When it's in attract, and I know this is too much for most people, but I'm just mentioning it right now. You're going to hear this again and again and again. When the magnets are in attraction, it's creating the same effect as a capacitor. When the magnets are in what's reverse polarity, which is mean pushing away from each other, it's creating a magnetic effect, which is similar to what the copper wire is doing, the inductor. So to answer your question, expert, when you're feeling those symptoms, have your layers ready and start right there. Just start doing it. Where you feel the pain in your shoulder, instead of going to the high voltage EMP device and the shaker plate, go to your layers and start learning, because that's the only way you're really going to get a good idea of feeling the difference effects and what you need to do at any given time.
Okay, so my question is now, what are you wearing if you're not using the vest?
I am always using some variation of copper, plastic wrap, metal tape, and magnets.
So basically, just using the braces. Are you using the braces right now?
Yes, but I'm having to reform it on such a regular basis that I'm not sticking with anything permanent. I'll wear mine for 3 days at a time and then remake it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's expensive.
It's not that much work though. I mean, when I'm remaking it, it can be anywhere between 5 minutes to 45 minutes, depending on what I figured out.
What about the magnets? Do we leave the magnet? I made a magnet bracelet and an ankle bracelet. Do I leave it on all the time?
Well, in attraction, wearing magnets is not a bad idea, okay? So if you have them in attraction, in polarity, then putting them on your fingers or your toes is going to get the most benefit from it. But I would say don't focus on the magnets until you understand, until you've deactivated implants, until you understand this, to have that awareness of what it feels like to have this heavy metal clump in you, and then the energy weapon react to it. Because the magnet's not going to do you very much good until you understand that, until you feel it yourself. It's like you wouldn't go out, to use the skiing metaphor to death, you wouldn't go out and buy the world's most expensive skis until you figured out how to do the bunny slope. And that magnets are they're so expensive, and you can figure out the copper wire, the plastic wrap, and the metal tape is as effective until you're dealing with more voracious. Basically, there comes a point where you'll offer them so much resistance that they'll dedicate teams and teams and teams and teams of you, to your environment, to whatever you're doing. Literally, 30, 40, 50, 60 people dedicated just to breaking you. Sandy's experiencing some of that right now. That's why.
That's what they do. I have about 60 to 100 people everywhere I go, and they're all military people.
Okay, well, some of them are the citizen informant part of it, and some of them are the human traffickers. And my point isn't to say that mine's worse or whatever. Their technical, that's not the point. Their technical capacity will increase and increase and increase as you offer them resistance, okay? So you're best off getting the fundamentals down and really understanding them. And the fundamentals are the capacitor, which is the metal tape and the plastic layers, and the inductor, which is copper wire, okay? So work on the magnets in time, but focus on, you know, the easier, cheaper thing that's just as effective, my opinion.
Okay.
My new question is my head. It's driving me crazy.
If you're having head symptoms, that means somewhere else in your body they are pulling heavy metals into your bloodstream and moving them around. So you got to find that area that's being that's turning into the drain, you know, that's clumped. A lot of the time, if you can't feel it, it's your colon, okay? They love focusing on the colon.
Oh, there's no way nothing's in my colon.
That's good. You're keeping it clean. It really is. It really is. It's good.
That's so.
Okay, has anybody got any other questions? Any newcomers want to talk? I know it sounds like I'm a bit of a boss, but as far as how these things go, but that's only because there's a lot of distractors on here.
Andrew, I have a question
Hey,
for
Andrew,
you.
Okay, hold on. The lady that was talking first, go ahead.
Hey, Andrew, so I have a quick question. So on the EMP device, I have the regular gauge copper wire. You mentioned braided last week. How many wraps around the can for the braided? Because I don't even have an idea of like how wide that is.
What gauge of wire is it?
I didn't get it yet. I'm going to change mine up. So I have like 22 gauge right now that I've been using. But you said that burns it out quicker. So use the braided.
If it's not burning out, use that. That's fine.
But the braided's better.
Well, the regular insulation is better because it doesn't burn out. But I've got some enameled wire that's like 28 gauge and it hasn't burned out. So.
Okay. So I'll just continue using what I'm doing with that. Okay.
May I ask, have you noticed a difference?
Yeah, I did. And I think I mentioned on one of your podcasts that I had some sharp electrical pain in my left arm.
Okay.
Like feeling like it's being electrocuted. And I went and I got the device and I started doing it on that area. So it was about 8 or 9 inches that I had a cover on my left. It's always, most of the time it's on the left side. So when I did that, then I felt about, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes later, where it was moving down to the wrist.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, moving down to the wrist. Now I haven't put it on that arm like daily, but I haven't experienced that since then. So now it's on the shin and the foot. And it just happened, I had to step away and do it just about 3 or 4 minutes ago, so I missed whatever people were talking about, but I'll catch it up later because that happened again. So then I just used the device and I just finished up with it right now. And then I have my wearable that we talked about a couple of weeks ago where you wanted me to build it right away, but I couldn't because there were people in the house. But I did build it, but I used copper, the speaker wire, the regular gauge wire that I have, which is I think 24, and then I have a what are those mylar and foil. So I made it like I alternated the layers. So I have that. So I use that also. But yeah, the device is. So I'm relieved now. So I don't have that. They're vibrations. Today they're vibrations, and of course, you know, I checked outside and there's the vehicle outside. So interesting.
Yep, releasing the aerosols. Yep. Okay, so Gigi, that what you were just saying is that today there's a vibrations is where I'm talking about the adaptation. So for everyone that's not catching this, this is why you've got to do you don't have to do anything, but why you should do like Gigi is doing. She's built the wearable, she's wearing the wearable, she's understanding that they're changing frequencies on a regular basis, and you are getting relief, right? Did I catch that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
What you teach, what I've learned is spot on. It's just I can't live without it. I even take the wearable with me when I'm in my car, because sometimes I'll get it in the car, when I'm on the gas pedal or the brake. So, which may be something else that they're interfering with, but then I'll just pull over and put it on and keep it down there, keep it on my feet.
Okay, so now what I want you, great job doing the work. Now what needs to happen, or what could happen, is keep building that awareness, okay? So I want you to focus on your body and the symptoms you have before you feel the confusion and the greater electrification effect. I want you to focus on the moments before, and then as it's happening, and then once you wear the wearable, what's happening. When you zapped your arm and you had that feeling of drainage, what that was a subcutaneous bulk water, which is acidic water with heavy metals and nanostructures in it, was falling apart and draining through your lymphatics. Okay? When that doesn't drain, that's the backstop I'm talking about that's interacting with the deuce. Okay, so that's the feeling, or one of the feelings you're going to be looking for moving into the future. After you put on the wearables, re-experiencing that, like you were just talking about. Go ahead.
Yeah, and it also worked too, which is really important, Andrew, because you were talking about this, I don't know how long ago, about the left toe, the left side, the left toe.
Mm-hmm.
I get it there too. So when I do, I grab the device and zap, 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 and it goes away.
Okay, so do you have are you handy, or do you have a handy person in your life?
Yeah, I do, but I can't use the handy person in my life in the house because they're kind of part of it. But I can figure things out. Never thought I'd be able to make that device of yours and the other one, and I did it.
Okay,
what are you suggesting?
Check out the high voltage EMP device. It's that's what experts using, and it works. You know how the stun gun will break up the heavy metals, just like you were talking about. The high voltage EMP device does it even more effectively.
Okay.
Like way more effectively. And if they're involved and they're your family, then unless they're in one of those. I mean, I shouldn't talk about this because a lot of times they do get blackmailed pretty bad, and they get threatened and everything when they get involved. But if they're doing it because they're like a dumb citizen informant type deal, I'm not trying to call anybody dumb, like your family member or whatnot. But introducing them to some of these proofs is actually in your family's best interest.
Oh, okay. No, I think they're threatened, like the neighbors also threatened, lied to, and threatened. So I can't fight against that. That's not a battle worth fighting for. I just have to focus on the devices and minimizing it and trying to eliminate it and being more aware of it and tackling it, and there's other things too, like heavy electromagnetic fields in the house. We're talking so heavy and so fierce that it can move stuff, and we've all seen it. So, but that I figured out using actually something interesting that I saw a guy from the UK who's on X use it, and it was a green laser. And he was able to, because he was getting hit so hard. I'll just make this real quick because somebody might benefit by this, because I have. He wanted to figure out what direction the hit was coming from. So what he did, because he was feeling it in his body pretty harsh, and he got a green laser, not a red laser, green laser. And he was able to wave it around, and you'll be able to see, because he did a video on it, where you'll see the energy coming through the beam, and he was able to pinpoint it. So I did that because beam or whatever it is moves things. That's how strong it is. And I did that, and I filmed it. So I'm not nuts. Not that I'm going to show anybody, but so I filmed it twice. So I was able to hone in on it, which part of the bedroom, which area, what mechanism in the room was doing this, or where it was feeding from. So, and I was able to see that, just like where he was able to pinpoint it, you'll see it. So a regular green laser, when you take it, say, outside or in your house, when you put it in the corner of a wall or something, you're going to see like little glitter. It looks like glitter coming through the beam, just glitter. But when there's energy, you're going to see solid. It's going to be solid, either solid circles, solid logs. So I was able to mitigate that, and so far so good.
Okay, well, you're going to have to show me that video when you get a chance if you want to, so I can understand what you're saying, because I don't. But
okay.
I do want
I'll
to.
email it to you. I'll email it to you, and you'll see. So far, I believe it worked. I don't know. It's still early. It's only 3 days now, so I don't know.
Okay, yeah. I would love to see what you're talking about. And then, hey, when you email me, this goes for anyone emailing me. My email is acole9689@hotmail.com. I'll repeat that if you want. But when you email me, list your name from the conference call if you're here, so that I can place the email to the name of you here or to your Rumble comments. Because, Gigi, I know now that you're that person from the Rumble comments, but I didn't know that before you said it. Or maybe you told me and I forgot. There's a lot of, it's hard to keep everybody's monikers in my memory.
No, I didn't make any Rumble comments, just posts here.
Sorry.
No, I sent you an email before, but not to this email.
There was somebody in the Rumble comments that mentioned something similar about their left forearm. That's why I just got that mixed up.
Well, maybe I forgot. I'll have to go back and look. Maybe I did make a comment. Well, I'll go take a look.
Okay.
But I'll email this to you and explain to you like how I believe I've tackled this. And it's only one section of a room, like one, like a third of the room. And there was ways I tested it out to hone in on it. So I think I got it. I could be wrong, but I certainly love your input. And
yeah, no, I thank you for your hard work. You're doing a great job.
All right, thanks, Andrew.
I want to just say too, when I find those areas like you're talking about, those are the areas I start wrapping first.
You start what? I didn't quite hear that. Can you repeat that, caller?
Yeah, when you say you find areas that are hurting or that you're working on, those are the areas I wrap first.
Wrap with what?
Wrap what?
With the Romax cable.
Oh, okay.
With the copper wire, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, my little thing. Okay, I should have wrapped instead of zap first. It was nearby, so I just did the zap first.
No, neither one's right or wrong. You got to figure it out. But that's what I wrap after I zap.
Okay, that's good to know. I'll try it that way. I'll make them both available close by. Okay, thank you, Sandy.
Hey, okay, caller, the man.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's okay. Yeah, the green laser, does it disperse the entity or whatever it is that's causing this? Does it disperse it, or it just recognizes it?
Okay, hold on. Dude, let's not talk anymore about the green laser until I figure out what Gigi is saying, just so that we can expedite that. Because we only got an hour left, and there's going to be people that want to talk particularly about whatever the other parts of it. I just don't know much about it. But either way, go. Do you have any other questions?
Yeah, I found that sometimes I wear, if you're getting head attacks, a lead cap, like you can get like the dentist, like you wear for X-rays, and I cover it with copper tape inside. I see a little bit of a difference. I just want to let people know about that. It helps slightly. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. That's the difference between shielding, which I would say is like 101, and what I'm talking about with this whole how to overcome directed energy weapons, building these resonant circuits. Resonant circuits is like 201 or 301 or something like that. Mixing the copper, saran wrap, and metal tape is much better than shielding because you're building a rudimentary circuit that's dissipating frequency. Okay, so it's not to say that the lead and copper don't work. I'm sure they do. The copper will help attenuate frequency by itself, and then you put the lead on it. The lead does shield a wide range of spectrum, right? And I know that does work to some extent, but the bigger idea, the one that's really going to help you, is mixing that plastic wrap, metal tape, and copper wire, because you're gonna start building these resonant circuits. It's not to say what you're doing is wrong. It's just to say there's a much better way, and it's based on electrical theory. Is there anybody else? Anybody next?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay.
Okay. You said that we need to build our own. Is it possible to use a parasite zapper for this, or is that out of the question?
The Hilda Clark parasite zapper, is that what you're talking about?
Well, I've just seen different ones online, not particularly that one.
Sorry, I was burping. You want to use the stun gun EMP device, because the stun gun, I know pretty much almost every retail stun gun for like $35, give or take, depending where you are, is going to provide a high amount of voltage that will produce a good EMP, electromagnetic pulse, that will work effectively. I can't say that a parasite zapper.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
It sounds really right.
It's not as hard as it sounds. It's really not. It's easier than like most arts and crafts projects.
I don't know about that.
Well, I almost can guarantee it. If you can knit a scarf, then sorry if that sounds sexist. That wasn't my point. If you can knit a scarf, then you have a greater technical capacity than it requires to build this stun gun EMP device.
Okay, and nobody come back and said, "Oh, I had to go to the hospital after I tried it," or anything like that?
No, but if you're afraid, then don't do it. Nobody has ever told me. But if you're afraid, then don't do it. Yeah.
Well, I'm probably afraid of that, but I'm probably more afraid of what they're doing to me right now. So.
I've actually shocked myself with it many different times on accident when I hold it wrong, and it says ouch, but it's nothing that's going to send you to the hospital.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, as I have too. You'd be really surprised how easy it is to build one of those, and use it. But you're exactly right. It's like, do you want to keep? And this isn't. This is just to say it. So excuse me if I'm sounding condescending. This is not the point. Do you want to have these people have access to your body at the level that they currently do?
No, I don't. That's why I'm on this call.
Yeah, and I literally am in a walk through hell to give you guys this information, as we all are. Every single one of us here that's legitimately targeted. This is a very hard thing, and it's not to blame any one person, but this is the situation. Both things are true.
Okay. I will recommend everybody to your channels that you have out there. And
thank you. And then, I'm sorry for interrupting. The internet makes it hard, the timing. The Onionhead Andrew on Rumble and YouTube for further, like the stun gun EMP device video, how to build one, is on there.
Sure. Okay.
And then all the previous classes and stuff.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome. And then next time you come on, if you want, give me your name and I'll remember you.
Okay, sounds good. I thought I would tell everyone too that with the lymph system when that does break up and get in there, because I get that all the time, like those kinds of pains.
Mm-hmm.
And do a dry brush, that will move that on out of there. Just like,
go ahead.
I use that. It's like you have to, if even like a natural bristle hairbrush you could use and just kind of brush that or do the lymph massage, and that helps a lot.
Okay. You brush your skin with what type of brush?
So sometimes I just use a natural hairbrush.
Okay.
But you can also do lymph massage, because I've had years of this with it getting in there and hurting, and that's what you should do.
Okay, great. So your awareness so this is how I'm going to translate what you just said. Your awareness is at the point where you understand that there's an external component that's clumping in your subcutaneous layers.
Whatever it is, I know it's related to what's been going on, and I know it's getting in there. And,
okay,
I know there's, I can see it. I don't know how many of you can see it, but I can actually see it come in.
Yeah.
So
it causes swelling. And everybody, big time swelling. Your lymphatics, people who's targeted, their lymphatics will be so messed up on their throats, especially the left side. Okay.
Oh, sure.
That clumping, what's clumping there is heavy metal and synthetic heavy metal substrates mixed with nanotechnology.
That's disgusting.
It is. That nanotechnology comes from the corporate food and the chemtrails. If you look above you on any given day, you'll see that they literally spray above your house on purpose, or your apartment, wherever you're at.
You don't have to tell me.
If you're in an apartment, your awareness is good. If you're in an apartment, they'll literally release this stuff through shared walls. So you'll be breathing it 24/7. The heavy metal and the synthetic heavy metal substrates mixed with the nano, that clumps along the implants. So when you use the stun gun EMP device, basically you deny their ability to automate the process.
Okay, very good.
All right, thanks for calling. I appreciate new people whose awareness is high like that have good things to add. Really do. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Hello, Andrew?
Yep.
Hi, this is Kim. I was wondering if they attack your feet all the time, you wake up and your toes are all red and part of your feet are all red, is if I put copper around it and then maybe the other wrap and then the saran wrap and then the metal tape, would that help my feet?
Okay, so your feet, that's a good question. I talked about this last week, but I'll say it again. Your feet want to be grounded. Okay, so your feet want to be more negatively charged, and your brain wants to be more positively charged. This is how everybody's body works, regardless of targeting. To reestablish that negative charge, you need to deal with that magnetism, okay? The easiest way to do that is to take a piece of Mylar, like those emergency blankets, then put 2 magnets in polarity on the Mylar. Okay, and then put that in your sock.
Okay, the polarity. So you mean the part that is attracting I should have towards me or away from me? I'm not quite sure what you mean.
So you take the piece of Mylar or whatever conductive. You could use aluminum foil if you wanted. I wouldn't recommend it, but you could.
Okay.
And you put one magnet on one side and the other magnet on the other side so that they're attracting to each other.
Oh, right through my leg, or even apart, one on one side and one on the other side. Gotcha.
Yep. And then you put that in your sock so that it stays to your foot, and that will ground your foot.
Okay. Thank you. I'll give that a try.
You're welcome. It's not actually grounding your foot. What it's doing is it's dealing with the magnetism that you're being attacked with.
Okay. Well, that's great. Well, I'll let you know how it turned out. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
Andrew, it's Charlie.
Hey, Charlie.
Hey, I found a water filter. They advertise that they could filter out the forever chemicals or chemicals out of the water. Also, the nanotechnology. So I don't know, false advertising or the filter could actually do that or not. I bought it.
It wouldn't be able to filter the nano out, and you can look this up for yourself on Clifford Carnicombe Institute. Google that. I think it's .org. It might be .com or .org. I can never remember. But Clifford Carnicombe Institute .org or .com. I'll write it down in chat right now. He has got all the source material I use for the nanotechnology. Him and Dr. Anna Mihelsia, but mostly him. He's been at it for 20-something years, 25 years researching this stuff. And basically, long story short, the nanotech is smaller than, I wish I could. It's in the submicrons. I can't remember. It's barely detectable with 7,000x magnification at its smallest form.
7,000, huh?
Yeah.
So if I buy a microscope like 8,000, 10,000x, I could see it in my blood.
You would, yes. If you got a blood sample and you put it on a slide and you got it before it got too dry and flaked off, you would be able to see it. It's very, very small. But go on Carnicombe Institute and really it's worth your time. It really is. It's true of anybody. Then you can understand the nanotech genocide that we're in. It's literally increasing the kill rate of everything right now by wide amounts.
Yeah. Well, as I mentioned this before, I found the website, right? The government website. In 2025, they spent $2.5 billion on nanotechnology, the government. So
yeah, if you factor in the chemtrails, which is heavy metals and nanotech, they're spending quadrillions of dollars. It's like so out of the realm of even money that we would understand being spent on us every day to poison us with this nanotech. Because that's the, and this isn't for you, Charlie. I know you know this, but this is for the other people. The nanotech part of it is for the fourth industrial revolution, Internet of Bodies, which is the greater picture, and this will help in people's awareness. Why we're being targeted, the meta picture, is that they're trying to develop the technology and automate it to remotely access people's bodies with directed energy weapons or undirected energy weapons that have nanotech in them. That's the whole point.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, with the Mandora raid, there were reports that the people fell, the security, right, inside the compound, that the fort, actually. They fell to the ground and they were bleeding out of their nose. Now, Duralisis says it's sonic, right? Sonic weapon that was used. But a sonic weapon doesn't damage the nose, right? It damages the ears. So exactly, he lied, and they were actually using microwave technology on the compound, on these people.
Well,
right?
If that was the case, right, and they actually did, which is a good chance that they did, it wouldn't be just that they used microwave technology or whatever it was, whether it was in the RF spectrum or the microwave spectrum or the 5G, the millimeter wave spectrum, whatever it was. It would be that frequency was interacting with heavy metals that were trapped in nanotechnology in their body.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, even untargeted people in Venezuela would still have nanotech and heavy metals in their body, just like us, just not as bad.
Yeah. Well, the CIA is in Venezuela, right? And if they had, and they were probably on the inside, so they were putting this nanotechnology inside the fort with all the. They were Cubans, basically. They were Cubans that were protecting him. But and you don't fall from the ground with sonic weapons. I mean, he just outright lied, right? You don't fall to the ground with sonic weapons. It affects your ears. So you may just drop to the ground, right? But these people, they said, fell to the ground and the nose started bleeding. So they were using the microwave technology.
Well, maybe, but either, I mean, it might have been millimeter wave, right? It might be, it could be anything from very low frequency to gamma rays. But either way, they had this heavy metal nanotech in their body that was getting more or less vibrated by whatever frequency weapon they were using. And that's the big secret, right?
That's what they don't want to talk about, the microwave technology. They say sonic technology, right? Because everyone knows they have that LRAM or whatever, right?
But Charlie, everybody knows they've got microwave weapons too. That's been around since World War II.
I don't know if everyone really knows that. They know about sonic. I don't know if they really know about microwave, right? The government wants to hide that, I think, and they do. I think they want to hide.
Okay, so I'll table. You're right. I'll table that. But the greater point would be that whether, and this goes like, if you travel, you'll see this yourself. And I'm not saying that you haven't, but there's chemtrails all over the developing world. This is a new world order, transnational corporate family effort to do all this, and that doesn't stop in the United States or Brazil or Venezuela or whatever. When I was in Nicaragua, I'll keep this really short. The Cuban teams were some of the first teams assigned to me before the greater Israeli NGO apparatus caught up with me. Cuban teams were on the ground. So if you go to certain places of, let's say Cuba, if you go to Cuba, it's not going to be American or NATO forces targeting you. It's going to be Cubans, right? So my point is that if they're doing it one place, and if they're doing it all these places, what makes you think that the Maduro strike, if they really utilized frequency weapons, would be any different than what we're experiencing? It would be just of intensity, right? Which was, I guess, was your point.
Higher intensity, higher powered radiation, to a point where they could, make them drop to the knee or fall, like Letterman, not Letterman. What was this? Fetterman, right? Fetterman. He fell to right flat on his face, right? Soon after the vote opened up the government. Fetterman's the senator in Philadelphia, and he had like stitches. And he said he fell flat on his face, right, to a point where you can't even put up your arms or hands to protect yourself, right? So most likely they hit him with a microwave weapon to make him fall.
How about all those news anchors and celebrities that died on live camera back in 2020, 2021? You remember all those people, or the people that were spinning before they died? They would get hit with something and would start spinning to the right or to the left. I can't remember, but it was pretty much uniform. And then they'd fall over and stroke out and die.
What were they doing? Were they just various news people, or
there was literally hundreds of these people across the world. I saw 30 or 40 of them from the United States alone during that year and a half. And people were saying, "Oh, it's the clot shots. It's the clot shots." Okay, yeah, that's true. It's the things in the shots that were building these structures, and then those structures interacting with frequency. What's that sound like to you? That sounds like exactly what we're talking about. The shots were another modality or medium of nanotechnology. Right? It's like a more capricious, a more volatile form of the chemtrail.
Did you get the? I know the answer most likely, but you never got the COVID vaccine, did you?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I did. I regret it because that's one of the ways they were implanting us, right? It's through the vaccine.
I don't know particularly, but with exactly what each one entailed. I don't think anybody does. I think it was a real cocktail. There's a history of the military-industrial complex making cocktail vaccines to see what will happen in the general public. They did that with the Gulf War syndrome people. The insiders, this was from Kay Griggs' interview if you want to look this up, but the insiders said that they called it cherry juice. Cherry, like Cheery. And the idea was, or Cherry. The idea is that like cherry juice is used at like marine functions where they'll mix up a bunch of drinks and try to get Marines drunk and do whatever sexual thing. It's weird. Either way, that's what I think those COVID vaccines were. If you got it, it's not by any means a death sentence. It's just that the nanotech element that you're already experiencing being targeted, you basically gave it steroids that might still be happening or might not be. It might have worn off by now. I don't know. Yeah.
Well,
That's my only understanding of it. Really, that's definitive. You know, there's a lot of speculation.
I'm still working on the pressure cooker diet. You know, I eat everything out of the pressure cooker now. But I don't see any.
How was your? Real quick, Charlie, how's your symptoms been?
Oh, like I said before, you know, my legs kind of burn and anything exposed skin. You know, that's covered with the radiation gear. Once in a while, I'll get the head pain, the migraine. But other than that, and the radiation detector constantly is going off. So I mean, that's the only thing. But I'm still working on the pressure cooker.
Okay.
Diet,
Have you been using the stun gun?
Yes. The one I thought was broken. I never sent it back to Amazon, but it turns out it was the on and off switch that wasn't working correctly. So I kind of I have to jiggle it around for it to work. So now I have I have 3 of them that I use. So because by the time I get to my whole body, the stun gun's already dead. You know, by the time I get to my legs and feet, because you know.
Okay, so have you? Sorry for interrupting you. Have you thought about utilizing the wearables with your radiation gear?
I do. I have that vest. Made the vest, the copper inductive vest, and then I have the ring on my arm, and then one on my neck, and then on top of my head. I have one on top of my head. I can't do it on the leg because I think I have problems with circulation, and then my feet kind of swell up. I don't know if that was because they're hitting me with the radiation, or it's just, you know, but I'm older too. I'm like 64, so.
It's probably because the heavy metal, the drainage, the lymphatic drainage, but I wouldn't know for sure without talking to you more about it. Doing all these things, have you noticed a quality of life improvement? And beyond that, before you get to that, I got a different question. Can you feel the heavy metal clump? Can you feel when a certain specific? You cannot.
No.
Okay, so
I just feel my skin burning, my arms burn, my face sometimes burns, and my legs burn, and it's the exposed skin, right? And nothing that has not protected with the radiation gear. Kind of burns, you know.
See, that makes me think that you've got a detox problem, that you're still haven't detoxed effectively. You still have too much of this stuff clumped in you if you're not feeling a difference, because you should feel a difference definitively of it going into you or around you, and you can. When I say you can feel it, you really can feel it. So here's I'm gonna leave you with this. I'll leave you with this. If you take a razor, this might be what. You might have some skin issue, right? It's like a heavy plaque on your skin. This happens to people. If you take razor and shave all of your hair, right, it could really, really help you. And then come back to me and tell me what happens. And if you don't want to do it, that's fine. But shaving your body hair, go ahead.
Maybe I could do it on my legs. You know, I could do some section. I'm not going to do my whole body.
Well, there's a reason, Charlie. There's a reason. If you've got this nanotech problem, it plaques on your skin. And your hair.
On the outside? on the outside of your skin?
Yes, 100%. Why do you think I support this lovely dome? I can grow hair just fine. But once I shaved, the first time I shaved, recognizing that I was shaving this plaque off me, I couldn't stop. I was like, I can't go back to having hair until this is done. I can grow a fantastic beard and a nice copper-colored hair.
The one thing I'm noticing is, in the beginning, the hair from my head was falling off, right? And I do have thinning. It was coming out. And it seems like when I take a shower or a bath, it's not, I don't know if it's going down the drain or not, but it doesn't seem like it's coming out as much as it did, years ago.
Yeah, there could be a variety of reasons for that. I wouldn't know.
Yeah. But
okay, so hey, I want you, Charlie. I want you to try to get that breakup. The difference of feeling. You should feel a different feeling. So maybe moving your wearables around, maybe not using the radiation stuff for a second. I don't know. Just experiment more in your environment and get back to me on it, because you should be able to feel a difference in different areas of your body. Like, for example, when you're being attacked, you say you feel burning in a certain area, you should be able to interact with that burning and change the effect with the wearables.
Yeah, but will the effect, will they stop hitting me with the radiation? Will the radiation detector stop going off, right? Probably not. But that's not the key factor there. The key factor is what's between you and that thing, right? And you control that. Yeah. Even if the radiation detector is up in my room and I'm in a different area, let's say maybe close to the backyard or something like that, the detector still goes off. Yeah. So are they hitting the whole place, or are they just continue to hit the area where I usually stay in my bedroom?
So this is just conjecture from me, but I think that they have a cone-shaped weapon over like the quarter block that we're in at any given time. And then they have more specific weapons that go in that cone. So I don't know. That's just conjecture. I'm pretty sure of it though.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. All right. Well, thanks very much for your information. I appreciate it.
Yeah, always appreciate it, Charlie. Is there anybody else?
We'll get through it.
Andrew.
Yep. Hey.
Hey, couple things. First thing was I wanted to recommend putting a guard on the stun gun. Basically, you just take a piece of cardboard and wrap it around and fasten it with masking tape so you don't zap yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah. And also, I spoke to you a couple weeks ago about shaving, what you were just talking about. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to let you know that I did go ahead, and shave. I don't have any hair on the top of my head, so it's, just body hair. But I wanted to let you know that I used a UV light, some of the hair that I shaved off, and I did find some significant number of fluorescent fibers or hairs in there. So anyway, what I'm planning to do on that is instead of like shaving every time, I've been having good luck with detox baths. Good luck. I get some relief. Like I get these heavy vibrations, and a lot of it's focused on my ears and my head. And when I put my head under the water, the vibrations almost stop. Everything pretty much resolves. But as soon as I get out, it comes back. So anyway, I've been using the stun gun, and so far I haven't really noticed anything on any help on the vibrations. But I need to do a little more with the detox diet. So what I'm going to do on the shaving is I think I'm going to between instead of shaving every time. What do you think about the ability of the detox bath to take the bioplaque off?
I think it's a potentially it's a good thing. Oftentimes, as targeted people, the various human trafficking network will poison your water specifically, making it more acidic.
Uh-huh.
So I don't rely on it, but I did just take a shower, so I mean I do it every now and then. But hey, did you notice any benefit from shaving?
I didn't really, because I've got this. It's mostly vibrations. The vibrations can be so intense that it's almost like a pulse vibration. That goes to like a low frequency, and it can literally incapacitate me. And it's also related to my ears, and in my head I get like a rumbling.
Where are you feeling the vibration?
The vibrations could be like just in my head or just in my feet or whole body, but most of the time it's kind of all over, and I get like a rumbling in the ears at the same time. And like I say, that it all pretty much stops, or goes down to a very low intensity when my head's underwater in the bath, or even when I get in the bath, the body stops.
Are you using wearables at all?
So far I've only made like one coil that I put around my neck, and I've tried placing it around my head, and I got the same red feet thing that Kim was talking about. I get it really bad. I mean, it's like it feels like they're taking they turn red like tomatoes, and also get like a little black film on the top. So I'm going to try the Mylar with the magnets. But anyway, yeah, the vibrations are kind of all over.
Okay, so are you smelling odors? Are you breathing? Is your throat or nose being affected?
Well, I have trouble with my. I think there's some stuff in my sinuses, but I can't detect anything. I think it's more my food, and I'm not sure that I can do anything about that. It's kind of hard to explain.
Okay, I see. Okay, thank you, Bob. Robert. If it is,
it's Bob. It just says Robert on the on my phone there.
I thought I remembered you saying it was Bob, but if it is your food, right, then using the stun gun will still help you. Using the wearables will still help you. Everything you're doing will still help you, but you will be putting the heavy metal nano material into your body as quickly as it's leaving. So you won't be running that deficit you need to run to get that detox going.
Yeah.
Which would explain, that's what you were saying, which would explain why you're not getting as much out of it as you should be.
Yeah, so I'm going to focus on the diet, and also I think that my my head has been feeling a little better. Like I also have had been like feeling like I got hit by a truck when I wake up, and now it's more like it's just the vibrations, and I also get stabbing pains or zaps. That, really intense, and I haven't been hit really hard, but I suspect that that's still there. I just haven't been hit with it. You know what I mean? And also it's very hard for me to tell, because I've done a lot of things over time, and I'll think that maybe something's working, and then I find out later that it wasn't. There seems to be deception going on there. but I think my head is probably doing better in terms of, like my brain overall. But I've also been taking Masterpiece, so that could be a factor as well. But I'm
okay.
Like right now I'm getting the vibrations. It's a little hard for me to talk, and I got the stuff hitting my ears really hard. So
I believe it.
So I'm a little bit.
Hey, Bob.
They're targeting your cerebral cortex.
Okay, hey, Brian, wait your turn. Brian, wait your turn.
In order to manipulate your autonomic and sympathetic nervous system. I really could care less.
Okay, so sorry about that.
Is that Brian too?
Yeah, he does. He's been doing that for years. But okay, so try to focus your awareness on what's going on in your environment. Like you were saying, is it your food? Potentially, right? I wouldn't know. Yep. Or maybe it is those odors or the aerosols, and it's being scented in a way that you're not picking it up, right? Like it smells like something. Yep. Okay, so I think that's going to be the big thing in your environment is what's going on. And I had another idea too. It could be that your sewer systems are heavily weaponized against you right now. So experiment with closing the drains or putting stoppers over the drains and see if that helps. They release aerosols through the drainage system if they can.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
Okay, and then we'll keep talking.
Okay. One more thing I wanted to mention. There was a lady that I was talking to on another call. And she's been doing shielding for a long time and has had, good results, and she's, well respected and everybody knows her. But anyway, she was talking about using multi-layers of metallic fabric and dense materials like Kevlar, and I think she said carbon. But anyway, when she was describing it, the layers, I think some of them have insulation, like it's one-sided fabric. And I said, well, that sounds like, kind of like a capacitor. And so I just wanted to mention that she has had good success with that. But
awesome.
I don't know if that would be shielding or the resonant circuit, basically a capacitor.
You will find the capacitor inductor. You'll find that a lot of people that are doing the best shielding have intuitively figured out to build these circuits, and that they just, or they stumble across it. God gave them, guided them, whatever you want to say. But you'll find that the people
this moderator is a perp. This moderator is a perp.
Brian, stop. Brian, stop.
This moderator is. Every one of them are perps.
Yeah, okay, so that's a long thing between what Brian's been saying to the public and what I'm saying to the public, and we've been getting into
it. He did it to me on Friday night.
Yeah, okay,
he did it to me on Friday.
Let's not. Hey, I appreciate you, agreeing with me, but let's not give him any more steam, okay? Because he's just going to keep calling back from random numbers, so it's going to come up again. But dang, Robert, I forgot what I was going to say, or Bob. I'm sorry.
I want to say something.
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, so what she was talking about and what he's talking about is basically the same, only different. So the wearables that we're talking about are the same protection. And I will tell you, I've experimented with so many different things that this Romax cable and things work, and it's the cheapest way. I mean, he mentioned a machine somebody was selling. I looked that up. It's $599. We're doing the exact same thing at economical prices that you try out. I've tried lots of different things too, but I'm also broke. So it's the same thing, only different. The wearables, what we're talking about, is exactly what she's talking about. It's just she found different things maybe to work. So I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, are we talking about Snowy Owl? The lady that goes by Snowy Owl? No, it doesn't matter. But I've noticed.
No, actually her name is Luda.
Oh, okay, I don't know.
Yeah, and so I guess my point was I just wanted to mention that you, I think on the last call you said that maybe just using like pure capacitance isn't really a good idea. So in her case, if it is acting at has a capacitance properties, it could be more the shielding than the capacitor. But anyway, just wanted to mention that she did have good success with that device, which could be a capacitor, right?
Yeah. No, and
big one.
And I believe everything you're saying, because I've seen it. I saw this one lady. She was like using aluminum foil and saran wrap, and she had no idea that she was building a capacitor, but it was working for her. And it was like I would sit there and try to explain to her, but she'd already figured it out, by accident. Yeah. So it's like, okay, but here, check this out. It's called Uncovering the Missing Secrets of Magnetism. I'm writing it right now in the chat. It's Uncovering the Missing Secrets of Magnetism, and it's by Ken Wheeler, okay? It's a little hard to read because he's not the best writer, but it is the source material I use for the etheric physics of model. That's the whole reason that we're talking right now, all of us, not just me and Bob. But if it hadn't been for Ken Wheeler and his accurate and very simple explanation of physics, then I would not know any of this, or I'd know a lot less of it. And basically the theory is very simple. There's neutral, there is capacitance, and there is inductance. Or there is neutral, there is magnetism, and there is electrostaticism, or called dielectricism. Okay, so dielectric, neutral, magnetism. Or you could say it like this: hot or a cold, which is dielectric, or electrostatic, or capacitance, neutral, which is obvious neutral, and hot, which is magnetism or inductance, or that's about it. Okay, so it's in a range. This is the whole theory behind the wearables. When the majority of us are being attacked with magnetism, we need to use capacitance to deal with it. Okay. That being said, when you're breaking up nano, if you introduce a magnetic field to it, it breaks up. So it's funny. It's like they pulse us with magnetism in their controlled resonant to nanotech frequencies. Okay. When we venture out of those resonant frequencies with magnetism, we can break up these structures too. So we don't just use capacitance, we use magnetism for other things too, but we use a lot less of it than the energies that are being beamed at us. And I know that's a lot for a lot of people, but Uncovering the Missing Secrets of Magnetism by Ken Wheeler is if you want to take it to the next level, if you really, really, really want to understand this stuff and just start becoming a wizard, right? Like Merlin, a modern day Merlin, read that book. It's hard to read. It's going to come across really dry and really just very difficult to read in various parts for a lot of reasons. Kind of because Ken Wheeler's the guy he is. He's got a channel on YouTube too. Although I would still say read the book. I'm writing down his channel on YouTube. A lot of it's not related to his bigger theories. It's just him talking, but a lot of it is. He is the premier source on magnetism and what it truly is. And reading that will just take you so much farther than anything besides what we're specifically talking about here right now. And the only reason, again, this will take you a little bit farther is because I'm targeted. I'm a survivor, and he's not. Right? So I'm giving you some of his theory specific to us. Go ahead.
So yeah, that's great. Thanks for that reference. I was going to ask you about that. So I have a little bit of a electronics background, so I'll definitely check that out.
Okay, if you've got a little bit of background, this is going to make everything just go crazy. You know, like you're learning. I mean, it's just going to take off because I had just a tiny bit of carpentry, wiring, doing finishing work background. And reading his stuff, it was like bing, bang, boom, you know?
Great. I have one more thing I wanted to ask you about if you got you got time for another one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Have you seen the documentary video by Dominic Halpin, Cognitive Liberty, Mind Control, that came out? Okay, it came out in December, and it's basically a documentary on targeted individuals, and it goes in depth into mind control, surveillance. It's got testimony and sorry, my brain's not working too good. But anyway, it's very well done, and if you get a chance to take a look at that, I would recommend it. They don't go into exactly how it's done. You know, they mention possibly microwave, and they said could it be nanotech, but they do, I think, do a really good job of covering what's being done to people, because like almost everything that's being done to me, they covered in there. So anyway, I would highly recommend that. And I wanted to mention to you that in that documentary, they made a statement about that surveillance, basically monitoring your thoughts, is being done in real time. And then it said with almost instantaneous response. And so in my situation, I've had extended periods of time, like a day, a couple days, where they're monitoring my thoughts and immediately hitting me, adjusting my vibrations, or hitting me with stuff. So I think it's in there that's happening. So in your situation, I think it seems like you're kind of you believe that in your situation that it's primarily operators adjusting, but in mine, I feel like mine is more, it's a consistent type of what they're hitting me with, and they just vary the intensity, and it is based on my thoughts, and it is like instantaneous, like almost before I finish the thought, I get hit. So, I just want to mention,
just to clarify my standing on that, I think that there is advanced software being utilized at the same time.
Okay. Yeah. It could vary by person.
Yeah, but I think it's about the same, though, to be honest. It's like advanced software and human teams of operators, because they need the teams of operators releasing the aerosols and all that stuff, the break-ins, all that type of thing, the implants.
Yeah.
What was the name of that documentary again?
Okay, it's Cognitive Liberty.
Okay.
Mind Control.
Cognitive Liberty, Mind Control. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm going to write it in the chat.
It's on YouTube, and they also translated it to, it's a translation in Spanish and Mandarin Chinese.
Okay, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'll try to take a look at it this next week. Probably right after the call.
Everybody that's seen it that I know, thought it was very helpful, and it was well done.
All right, thanks, Bob. All right, who's
Thanks a lot, Andrew.
I appreciate you. We're at 5:30 right now, or 5:29. I've got another half an hour, so let's try to get some people that have got some pressing issues, that type of thing.
I have a question. Hi, Andrew. It's Regina. There's a question in the chat room that I would like to know the answer of too, and it reads, could EMP attacks make you itch or cause bumpy rash or hives?
Okay, so no. The reason that you get those bumpy rash, whatever, all of that, the skin issues, is twofold. One, nanotech, when it plaques on your skin, like I was just talking about with Bob. Two, and this is more, it's not more, it's the same thing, but there are these little things, they're called nano walkers, all right? During break-ins, they'll spray your clothes with them. They'll spray your apartment, your furniture, all that type of thing. Also, they have the ability, the human traffickers, to aerosolize them. What these nano walkers do is they're literally nano-sized. It's not hyperbole, and they crawl very, 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 very slowly over objects and into things, your eyes, your nose, your mouth, whatever. So at the end of the day, if you're wearing clothes that had been sprayed with this crap, we're talking about billions of these things in one spraying, right, on one thing. They'll move the span of, let's say, a foot, 6 inches, something like that. Not a great distance, but there'll be so many of them that when they land where they are, they deposit a payload. You know those cuts that you'll get on your skin, the long line? That's them depositing the payload. All right, these nano walkers. They were they publicly invented. I think the government had them invented before this, but they were publicly released in 2002 by, I think it was New York State University, something, it doesn't matter. But either way, that is the primary reason. This is also how they do sex attacks, that you'll get these acute symptoms, is these nanowalkers will crawl into your eyes, your nose, your genitalia, they will crawl in your mouth, down into your stomach, and they can be triggered in a flash. All right, they can either invade an area that's weak, like say you had a cut, and they'll plaque it over, right? Or that could also be something else too. But or they can be released. They can add to the polymers of the nanomachinery already in your body and on your body. All right, that's one of the big secrets about targeting is these nanowalkers. Yeah, there's more I could say about that. Red lights, infrared light. And I should have said this earlier too. Somebody was talking about something going on. I was thinking infrared light would be great for them, and I forgot to say it. Infrared incandescent light will heal a lot of the skin issues you have. You can get an infrared light bulb at a pet store for reptiles. I say get the red light for reptiles because those ones are solid. They are so much better than the GE mass-produced ones you get at Home Depot. They work so much better, and they're only marginally more expensive. And then you just get a simple hood light like you would use to work on a car, you know, in your shop or whatever. You'd hang under your hood. Get one of those. You get those at Home Depot for $10. So for $40, give or take, you can have yourself an infrared light setup that you would pay hundreds of dollars for if you were to order it specifically for that purpose. And the incandescent ones work so much better.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That is the best solution for what you're talking about, in my opinion.
Andrew, why are the incandescent ones better than the infrared ones?
Well, they're both infrared. The infrared is the spectrum. The other ones are LEDs. The LEDs, light-emitting diodes, they produce a wavelength that's not very broad. And then not only that, it's that flicker rate. It's actually not good for you. It's not good for cells. That's true of all LEDs.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. The incandescent is a broader range regardless. And it produces heat. It feels really nice. If you have any type of seasonal depression, which I forget about these things myself, all this remedies, because if I had remembered, I'd be using this more regularly. It gives you vitamin D using the infrared light. It also wicks away bulk water trapped underneath your skin, which is to say the acidic nanotechnology heavy metal water that's intracellular from cell to cell. It helps drain. So yeah, those infrared incandescent red light bulbs that you get for reptiles from any pet store pretty much you can't put a price on that. That's fantastic. Those are so fantastic. Okay, if anybody wants to talk, for sure, but if there's anybody that's got any pressing situations or anything they're really trying to figure out, we're coming up on the last 20 minutes or so right now.
Hi, Andrew. This is Kia.
Hi, Kia.
Hi, I am here in Seattle, Washington, and I sent you an email because I do have a very pressing situation going on here. And I just wanted you to know that I'm listening, and I hope that you get my email and we could get to the bottom of this. And I'm taking everything in. I'm new to it all and learning and blown away. And I want to thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. I'll check the email again. I've been really busy this week. That's why I hadn't. I was working on a whole bunch of theory stuff and then all the regular targeting stuff, and I got behind on some emails.
All right.
So I'll go back through them.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And also, if I don't email you back and you're specifically asking me about something or commenting on something that I should be emailing you back on, oftentimes the email browsers, the clients, whether it's yours you're emailing me from or mine, will mess with it. So I'll go back through my junk email and I'll find stuff I had in my inbox that will go back into the junk. All right, so who cares? Just to tell you to email me again.
I just turned on the red light thing. I've never tried it. I bought it, so I'll tell you how it did next week.
Okay, great. That's great. Yeah, I know. There's so much to do. Sandy gets it. It's like you just forget you've got these things in your arsenal. Yeah, I got the 150 watt to the person Jay commenting. I bought the 150 watt one from the reptile store. The 100 watt one is good enough. I wouldn't go anything lower than 100 watt. 150 watts better. You can basically, what that means is that you can have it farther away from you. The only problem with the infrared light, this is the only problem, is that it will relax you, especially if you're heavily targeted. It will relax you into a sleep, and you might burn yourself. The first 5 months I had one, I'd fall asleep holding it and burn myself all the time. I burnt myself like freaking, 7, 8 times, something like that. It became a running joke in my family because I'd have these burns on my forehead because I'd be aiming at me. This is before I deactivated implants. This was like 3 years ago. And I'd fall asleep with it, bam, and wake up smelling bacon.
Glad you said that because I'm a redhead too.
Yeah, you will. It relaxes you. It's crazy. So make sure you attach that hood lamp to something before you doze off. Okay, thanks, Gigi. I got your comment there. I'll check it. I'll get back to you probably tomorrow. After these calls, I like to take a little time to dewind. It's a long time to talk. Unwind, I meant.
Thanks, Andrew. No rush.
Okay. All right. Is there anybody else?
Oh, yes.
Andrew?
Hi, Andrew.
Go ahead.
Okay. Was somebody else?
No, you're good.
Oh, okay. Thanks. Thanks a lot. This is Meg. Thank you for everything. I wanted to ask, do these methods help some of the stuff that goes maybe undetected, which is affecting their ability to use our eyes or read our, quote unquote, read our brains?
Yeah, so I think a lot of that, this is my opinion, I don't have proof of it, but I've thought about this a lot. I think a lot of that is just wrong. I think the seeing through your eyes is wrong. And I think that the real-time reading of your brain, it's Bob was talking about it a little bit earlier, but there is a factor to that that's real. But I think those are like real-time adaptive scripts from software. And I think the majority of the whole reading your brain in real time and then like seeing like a gang stalking thing or something like that is from more conventional methods or more novelty weapons. Like conventional methods being like a lot of us have cameras and pretty much if you're targeted, it's almost a guarantee when they broke in, they put up cameras. I wouldn't know where or how to detect them, but I've proved that to myself infinitely of where there is and where there isn't. I don't want to get into that too much right now. So a lot of that could just be basic old spycraft stuff. That being said, there is a technology I know about where it's like 100% provable, where your tongue can be measured and your silent speech can be read in real time. It's not retail, but it's like close to retail technology. So like if you had nanotech, which all of us do because we're breathing this crap, on your tongue, and that technology already exists, then if you're talking to yourself, potentially, even if it's not audible, potentially that could be interpreted in real time, extrapolated in real time. and be put into some, format that these people could access. So I think, to answer your question, I think that, yes, doing all of these things is going to help you with the software part of it, the quote-unquote mind control, all that, the reading of your brain, whatever. It's all going to help. But I think the greater thing is that, like, they're not reading it's not through your eyes. As much as people say that, there's no verifiable proof of it whatsoever. And then the mouth thing, there's lots of verifiable proof of. Like, I think you could YouTube it, silent speech detector, technology, something like that. Google that, should come up with something.
Okay, thanks. Yes, now I think you were saying about they're reading your mind. I might have been I might have not said it clear enough, but I don't think they're necessarily reading my brain through my eyes, but the sight through my eyes. I think you addressed both things. You were just saying it could be old tech.
Yeah, well, so I don't think that they're seeing anything that you're seeing through your vision, or they're hacking the signals coming into your eyes. I don't think any of that's happening. I think that there's a provable interaction with your eyes that's happening through nanotech and various blue lights when you sleep, like the dream manipulation. I think that's ultrasound or whatever. I think that's ultrasound. Yeah, it's ultrasound, the laser sound that they beam at our ears, the V2K stuff, basically. And then various lights being on our eyelids as we're sleeping. The two of those interplay to make like a pretty solid ability to manipulate someone's dreams. But I don't think that your eyes are being hacked from their source. You see what I mean? It's like, it's smoke and mirrors. It's all novelty technologies, not all of it. A lot of it is novelty technologies and more basic spycraft, like cameras, for example. Like if someone had cameras up in your environment and you didn't know that, and they were doing these street theater counterintelligence skits in front of you, it would be like they were reading your mind.
Mhm. Okay, thanks. I appreciate that. And the last one is, someone else on the call mentioned this. I don't know if you consider this something that what you want to think about, but somebody mentioned how there was so much electromagnetic power in her home that it could move things. Are you aware of that, or
did you hear
that today?
Yes, I did hear that. Gigi me and Gigi have talked quite a bit. Right now I'm tabling that until I understand better what she's saying. Because there could be another explanation of it, or there could be what she's thinking, or it could be that it's what she's thinking but manifesting differently. I don't know until I know more about it, and I'm gonna figure out more about it.
Okay,
but for example, I'll give you no problem. I'll give you a literal example though of what I'm saying. Literally, and I'm not saying this is the case with Gigi, but literally there are people that will use invisibility cloaking technology that will be in your environment at some times, right? Whether you're awake or you're asleep or you're not home or you are home, obviously, right? There will be people using this technology in amongst you. I've witnessed this in multiple locations at multiple time periods of my life, blah, 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 blah. It could be a lot of different things is what I'm saying.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Yeah, thanks for asking. I've been talking a lot. It gets to a point in these lives where I start hating my own voice. I'm at that point.
I did get a black light, and that's pretty revealing as well.
Yeah, what were you seeing in that?
Oh my God, one of my walls was splashed. This yellow stuff was all over my wall. It's amazing.
That's those herbicides and pesticides they used in break-ins. The chemical solvents, like Expert One was talking about. she was the released the chemical vapors. I had noticed the same thing in one of the houses I had lived in. I had a black light, and I just plugged it in for fun, just to see, and I saw those splotches all over a room.
Oh, my entire bathroom. Oh my God. Yeah, it was bad, and that's where I was sleeping at. Isn't that interesting?
Oh, geez, the worst place to sleep is your bathroom.
Yeah, I figured that out finally.
Yeah, because the sewer. I used to sit in my bathroom all the time, on the toilet or whatever. And I think that was like kind of the mind control element of this, is like sometimes when our brain gets so inflamed, like we'll start smiling and thinking we're having like a good time, but really we're just confused. And they're just triggering that dopamine reaction through the directed inflammation. But I used to sit in that bathroom, and later on I realized that the sewage system was the main medium of attack at that house I was living at. They were constantly, because a bunch of spook neighbors were constantly pouring crap down the drain. This is one of the reasons they move in next to you, by the way. They pour it down their drain. People have heard me say this before. You either use the water or your drains are open in your house. Either way, that vapor comes up into your breathing space. And that's what I was saying to Bob earlier, is be on the lookout for that. Because that is the main attack. When you're not aware of it being utilized against you, they'll do that because it's the easiest. And that's why also when Sandy saw her walls, they had all those pesticides and herbicides, because that's usually what it is, because it's dual use. So if they get caught with them, they'd be like, oh, I was just spraying for bugs or whatever, And that way they can spray in public too, and nobody ever notices. But like DuPont and all those companies have been developing those dual-use weapons for last 80 years or whatever. But anyways, the reason they were spraying those chemical vapors in there, or the chemicals that release the chemical vapors, is to help wick that crap out of the sewage. They use directed energy weapons to wick it out of the sewage.
Andrew, do you know how to clean that off the walls? I have it in my oven, and so I brought a convection oven, and I just used the black light on that, and it has been sprayed as well, and it is yellow.
Okay, hey, great awareness, great, fantastic awareness, because the idea with that is that this is so good, on such a good comment. They love doing the ovens. When you heat your oven up, not only will it release the chemical vapors in your near vicinity, and you'll breathe them and become more targetable, but also it'll put them in your food. So you'll eat your food, and the same thing will happen over a longer extended release. The best way to clean those is using very acidic compounds and very alkaline compounds. So for oven cleaner, it's that powder. I can't remember the name of it right now. That's the very alkaline that they'll use to clean ovens. If you heavily use that and then heavily use something that's acidic, or maybe acidic first, just a little diluted citric acid, for example, if you use those two extremes, then it should flake off, and you should be able to either get it with a metal sponge or like a bristle pad, whatever, or like an ice scraper. But that's how I was getting it off. I was using a lye compound and a ice scraper to get it off my walls. And then I'm a very handy person, so I just touched up the paint. I was like, I don't really care,
What about using borax? Would that work too?
I don't know. I've never done it for that. Somebody says comet powder. Comet powder would probably work. But really, you just want to get that, because it's like a glue, right? So you want to get that glue into a flaky state, and then you want to flake it off. It's going to require the mechanical and the chemical solution at the same time to get rid of it, though, because it's specifically designed to make it sticky.
This black light you're talking about, it's just a black bulb, a bulb that has, it's a black light?
Yeah, like the 70s, I don't know, I'm old, but in the 70s we used to make our posters glow.
You can also get it in a flashlight. That's what I have.
Oh, that's a great idea. They use those for hotel cleaning. That's a fantastic idea. Black light flashlight. That's really good, everybody. That's one of those tools that will build your awareness, which has been the theme of the day. How can we increase our awareness? Because once we recognize there's a problem, we'll solve it. You know, the problem right now is that most of us don't recognize the depth of the problem that we're in. Okay, we're at 2 hours and some minutes. We're going to close up unless anybody's got some other things they want to ask real quick.
When I'm using the wire for the,
don't forget we have a Friday night shielding call that's dedicated to all these topics and all that kind of stuff. So if you want to continue the discussion on Friday, you're welcome to join us.
JWO? What are you guys doing on Friday?
General discussion, shielding materials, wearables. We've been talking about that a lot, and dealing with your environment, how to figure out where they're getting in and what they're doing with the wiring and stuff like that. Some, test equipment. Okay. We talked about some oscilloscope stuff and, the spectrum analyzer stuff and general topics.
Okay.
When's that call?
All right, I'll have to check it out. Appreciate it.
I have a question for you, Andrew. I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, if I'm making the zapper, right? And the wire I'm using, it's a solid wire. It's insulated, but it's a solid, silver wire. Would that be? And I don't know the gauge of it is. I don't know. I don't know. It's not real thick and it's not real thin.
If it's lower than 16 gauge, you're fine. If it's higher than 16 gauge, it's going to be too thick. 16 gauge is like your house wiring's 14 gauge or 12 gauge. So if it looks like it's about that, it's too thick. It needs to be like a speaker wire or close to it.
Because you got the wire, you open it up, it's got a bunch of little wires in there, a bunch that makes up about 10 wires in there,
Yeah. Well, no, that sounds like it'll work. That's a braided wire, by the way.
Braided wire.
Yeah. That sounds like it will work as long as it's not too thick. The only way it wouldn't work if it's too thick, then it will not make a because you want the voltage to overpower the wire to get the magnetic field out of the wire. So if the gauge of wire is too thick and allows too much current, then the EMP that's produced will be too small to use. That's why you use a thinner gauge. So go ahead and use that wire, and if you don't notice any change, go out and buy thinner wire.
Okay, yeah, very good. And it should be about 6 feet of wire, right? 6 to 10 feet. Do you wrap around?
You probably only need about 2 feet, give or take. But I tell people to get 5 feet in case they mess up. You want to wrap. So both ends are stripped, right? But you want to wrap the middle 6 or 7 times the diameter of a soup can.
Okay. So 5 feet, like you're saying. All right, very good. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. You won't need the whole 5 feet though.
Yeah, 2 ends of it will be about an inch on each end, half inch. Yeah.
Yeah, right about there. And then the one side you wrap, the other side you gap at about. I didn't mean that to rhyme. The other side you gap about 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch.
I got you. All right, thanks.
Okay, you're welcome. And Joe, you got my email.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good. It's good hearing from you. Good hearing that you're.
Sorry for interrupting.
Fine.
I didn't want to get cut off right away. I need to know what the number for Friday's call is. I don't have the internet.
It'll be on tievents.org, and then JWO. Can you?
I don't have the internet. I said.
Okay.
I'm like Luda. I don't have the internet.
I'll try and pull it up real quick.
Okay, JWO is going to get it. So I got to ask, High River. Yep, I got you. High River, if you don't have the internet, how'd you find this one?
I've always had these phones. I've been on PAX for at least 10 years now.
Okay, you found me on PAX?
Yes, I was on there beforehand, too, way back in 2013 or 2012.
Okay, yeah, no, I was just curious. I was just trying to find where you found out about this. I'm not from PAX. The people at PAX really, some of them think that we're doing lots of good work here, so they're telling their people to come here. This is Onionhead Andrew.
Yeah,
I know.
518.
Pardon me, John?
It's 518 992 1047.
1047. Access
and the
code?
access code is 693299 #.
693299 #.
Yep.
Did you say 693299, John?
Yep.
Your name is John, is that correct?
Yep.
Okay,
oh,
hey.
Good. I got your name right. Okay, so your name, Onionhead. Nice to meet you. Talk to you both. Thanks for your help today.
Yeah, nice to meet you. God bless. God bless. Hey, just for your future information, this is the part of the show where it's recording. So we try to keep it, try to keep it on point for the people that aren't here. All right, with that being said, is there anybody else that wants to ask a pertinent question?
Well, it's becoming a pressing issue with the wearables are becoming more and more important because of how mobile their shit has gotten. So I got a whole thing I'm doing, She's getting migraines real bad. I made her a wearable headband out of, the plastic base with the aluminum tape and some other little items on there. And she puts this headband on and it takes care of her migraine for her. So, yeah, we're making progress, but it's slow going. I don't have any money.
Yeah, definitely. But, hey, if you want, we can talk. You've got my email. We can talk more about, maybe I present to your people or, I give you some references for the, like the Ken Wheeler stuff. I could help you more is what I'm saying. You just email me outside of here, obviously, and we'll talk more about some things that we can get into.
The problem, the email, because I got to use the phone to email, and it doesn't work right half the time to do the emails with it. But I'll shoot you something. I'm going to send you a couple pictures of some things.
Okay.
For your to review, for your review all.
Okay, yeah, that sounds great. And then send me your phone number when you do, and we'll try to figure something out, okay? And, hey, there was a few, speaking of that, sounds good. There was a few people that I meant to get back to this week with the phone calls, two in particular. One of them, you know who you are. The other one, you don't. Anyways, I'm going to get back to you. So if you're catching this, I didn't forget about you. I know you're out there. I just got busy. Okay, was there anybody else?
Yeah. Hey, Andrew, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man, you probably won't recognize my voice, man. It's a blessing to catch up with you. I'm not going to say my name, and I can explain later on the reason why. It's probably not important. But you and I were on a podcast with Roy Ecups like months ago, if not a year or so ago, maybe, roughly. Time flies. I came in, I was kind of quiet, but I remember you covering the EMP device, and I was so impressed with it. I took notes on the entire podcast, and shortly thereafter, the entire set of notes literally just, of course, dematerialized. I'm sure you probably know how that goes sometimes. And I tried to get back in touch with Roy, and I guess we were having a miscommunication, and I could not ever locate again that podcast. I know probably why. But, man, I wanted to thank you. It's a blessing that I happened to see your the notification. Somebody posted it in the TIC group a little while ago, and I just happened to catch it. I didn't even realize it was you. And so I clicked on it, and I thought, man, I know this guy. And so, man, it's a blessing. I want to thank you, man, for doing what you do. I've spent hours, like you have, and many of us have, listening to, the whole gamut of issues going on, and it's dumbfounding to even conceptualize. Even though I'm so used to hearing it, it blows my mind. I will say privately, I have got some things I'm working on, like you and like others, concerning not just the education route like you're doing here. I think if this can be stopped or mitigated, obviously it's going to take a multifaceted approach. I'd like to think that as a longtime activist, that if we had a couple of brains in that regard, or some people that are into particular niches within this subgroup of people, that we may be able to get somewhere. And I won't say at the moment on the air what my plans are. I'll be glad to email you, but like the other gentleman said, I don't know if his issues will be the same. I am seemingly being blackballed by not only Google, but as a longtime anti-communist activist, the state of China, legitimately, and most of my, every phone, of course, has been hacked and compromised, and you just, mine appear to be mostly Chinese-oriented, and I'm about 99% sure of that, where it's not actually U.S. forces, believe it or not, unless they are pretending to be so.
I'm jumping in here. They're just because we're nearing the end, but they all work together. They all work together.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah. Travel internationally. They all work together. But hey, okay, so go on Onionhead Andrew on Rumble or YouTube, okay? And it will have that video that you're talking about where we were on that podcast, but it will also have how to build the stun gun EMP on YouTube or Rumble.
Man, that is amazing. Can I take your email down again?
Yeah, it's ACOLE9689@hotmail.com, and it's listed. If you lose it, it's listed below every Rumble video and YouTube video.
Man, I didn't know Hotmail. I had a Hotmail account for years until suddenly it changed to Outlook for some reason. I may have to go back to that.
It is Outlook, but I just had it from a long time ago.
Awesome, man. Well, I thank you again for the program, man. I have, I hate to say thoroughly enjoyed it. I thoroughly appreciate it, man, very much.
Oh, hey, yeah, well, thanks for commenting. All right, okay, guys. Thank you.
Thank you all.
We're nearing the end. If there's anybody else, this would be your time to speak. Okay, sounds good. That's great. We got through everybody. As always, it's a gift from God that I'm able to talk to you all. And may God have mercy on us, and may God continue to bless us in this endeavors for our freedom. Tweet. Tweet.